Hey folks, so it is 1 o'clock in the morning. It's really late, and I've just been doing some playtesting. My first at the table playtesting. Here's what I got. Here's my setup. Here's my office. So I've got the game here. I printed it out. So I have Squib and everything here. Here's the game. All right. So I have been playing around with it, and so I didn't finish actually filling out all the cards. I just kind of filled out like the small creatures, just the first bits of the game. Immediately, I figured out plenty of component things. For one thing, that font is ridiculously small and not reasonable. My first shot at the component was way too small. Of course, these are the things that like no amount of digital stuff could ever you can never figure that out until you actually sit down and play with it. But fortunately, I got my space right here. I've got, I do the computer, I hit print, I sleeve them, so I actually did a couple of iterations of fixing things. And then as I was going through, I was taking cards out of their sleeves and just marking them up and tweaking different things and writing down ideas I gotta say, right now, I love the gameplay. I really like it. It actually is as good as I had hoped. The idea that you have cards that you have to do, and then you can kind of take two routes, and there's lots of choices, and you kind of do this analysis paralysis for a little bit, which is, I think, good. I think shows depth, and then you go through the exciting part where you try and see if your plan works out, where you try and fight the monster, or you try to build the thing, or whatever. So I really like that, and so this is kind of shaping out to be the game that I want it to be. There's an enormous amount of balance. There's an enormous amount of like just figuring out the content. I'm also really happy with the components that I did, or the tools that I made. So the idea is that you go through and fight monsters, get resources, and then with those resources you build cool tools. And those cool tools really represent different kinds of strategy. And so it really makes the game replayable because you might not use a tool ever in your entire run, and then next time you use it heavily or something. So there are some tools that will are like an ongoing thing. Some of them are like a one-time use thing. I also kind of sketched this idea of like insta-slaughtering a creature. So like you can fight them, but then if you have like this magical item, you can take them out in one shot. And that kind of has this nice crossover between fighting not always just being about rolling the dice, but it's also about ingenuity of getting the right item. That's a nice little crossover. I like that. So everything that I thought that I would like, I like. I think I just need to fill out the content a little bit better. I didn't really figure out the economy. So that's kind of next. So that means time in Excel and then a little bit of time in Squib to boost the font and all that stuff. But right now, I'm going to clean up and go to bed because it's way too late. And yeah. All right. Have a nice night.